major implications of privatization on education include expansion, global connection, eradication of inequality, and the study of change. There exists a dynamic continuity, the term coined by Redcliffe Brown. Just like how a human body renews itself, the dynamic continuity existing in the privatization of education helps to improve the quality of higher education. The personal autonomy, the group autonomy present in the privatization of education, referring to the book Ideologies, the New Social Movements by Scott, clearly states the power of institution to take decisions and control the digital divide. Referring to the research paper on impacts of privatization on higher education by Dr. Balla and Aditi Anish, which concludes the research paper by stating that privatization is the only way to absorb students to higher education with its higher quality, and I strongly believe for the motion.
Education has become a commodity. Those who can buy it, and those who can sell it, make money out of it, said the great Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi. I'll begin by that, commoditization of education. Privatization essentially leads to profiteering, and profiteering necessitates cost cutting. In such a paradigm, quality is the first thing that takes a backseat. Quality of professors, quality of students, and the quality of resources provided to the institutions. Let's get to the quality of professors. 3 things. 1, appointments through PSC or because of such high repute. 2, a UGC prescribed pay scale, and 3, credibility and legitimacy of the research and projects that come out of government institutions. These things attract better professors and research scholars as faculty to the government institutions, and hence ensures better impartation of knowledge. Secondly, with respect to quality of students, which is also very essential for better education. And take the example of IITs. 10 lakh students write it every year for a few thousand seats. So that ensures better students in the institution.
One of the prominent section in CPC 923, Central Product Classification under the GATT, General Agreement in Trades and Services, clearly outlines the prominent goal of privatization of education as a national treatment which gives adequacies in overcoming the impartialities, which is definitely a quality check from this side.
Please. Before I go into my constructive argument, let me clarify that the topic today is with respect to whether privatization necessarily improves the quality of education. I'm not denying the fact that privatization may be required, private institutions may be required, but does it necessarily improve the quality is the question. And with respect to that, let me put forth a few things that speak for itself. It's called res ipsa loquitur in law. Firstly, there are 58 unicorn businesses in India. 30 of them are founded by IIT graduates, government institutions. What do you have to say about that?
There is nothing wrong with the government institutions, but here, since, as you said, it's a quality, I'm starting from November 1978. For the very first time, a convention on people science movement was conducted in India at Trivandrum under the sponsorship of Kerala Sahitya Shastra Parishad. And in that, the main issue discussed was the inability of the government to even implement the primary education and the problems of higher education. So the problems started even then.
Over to you.
Again, I'm not refuting the fact that private institutions may be required to ensure better access. With respect to quality, let me put forth this argument that there are almost 40,000 colleges in India, but all the examples that were given were with respect to BITS and VIT Vellore. Only 2 examples. But take the example of government institutions, we can list down tons and tons of government institutions which have high repute. In fact, the world rankings, 3 of the institutions that featured in the top 200 were government institutions.
Just because the numbers are increased, I don't believe that it can affect directly with the quality, because I believe it is a privatization that helps to overcome the cultural boundaries. I'm pointing out an extended hand of privatization, that is the techno-utopianism, in which the studies by techno-utopians clearly states that the presence of technology through privatization helps in creating a paradigm shift in the field of education, overcoming the cultural boundaries.
Please.
It's a misjudgment that government institutions do not adopt better technology. IITs, in fact, are most equipped in technology-wise. And even further, let me just put forth one thing. A student who secures the first rank in IIT JEE and BITSAT, the day he adopts for BITS Pilani, I will rest my case. The day he adopts BITS Pilani over IIT Delhi or IIT Bombay, I'll rest my case.
Over to you, please.
But I can strongly say that the society coming out of a privatized education system is known as an informational society. Not just the view by me, but the Manuel Castell in his book, The Information Age, Economy, Society and Culture, clearly points out that it is the process of formation of an informational society when the students are being moved through the process of privatization in education.
Mathew.
With respect to information society and imparting information as such itself, I began by saying that privatization leads to profiteering. So it's a game of quantity. In a single class in a private institution, there will be more than 200 seats, 200 students taught by one single professor. So the attention given to each student, the information that is imparted to each student is minuscule.
Mathew,
I
please.
don't believe it is commodification, but I believe it is imparting a proper structure, because as the viewpoint of a mass social theorist, connoisseur properly says that imparting or lack of proper structure can lead to the alienation of people and indeed affect their abilities on mental and social concerns.
Please.
I do not completely fathom what structure you're exactly pointing out, because even with respect to appointment of professors, we know how much of fraud happens with respect to appointment of professors, how much of corruption is involved in appointment of professors in private institutions. The very fact that there exist multiple fraud
Thank you
institutions
so
is a
much.
testament to that.
Your time up.